August 12, 2019. Dear Chairman Burr and Chairman Schiff, I am reporting an urgent concern in accordance with the procedures outlined in 50 U.S.C. 3033 K5A. This letter is unclassified and separated from the attachment. In the course of my official duties, I have received information from multiple U.S. government officials that the President of the United States is using the power of his office to solicit interference from a foreign country in the 2020 U.S. election. Even though the words election do not appear in the attachment that I'm sharing with you, my interpretation is that he's trying to gain an edge against his opponent. This interference includes, among other things, pressuring a foreign country to investigate one of the president's main domestic political rivals. The president's personal lawyer, Mr. Rudolph Giuliani, is a central figure in this effort. Attorney General Barr appears to be involved as well. Over the past 4 months, more than half a dozen U.S. officials have informed me of various facts related to this effort. The information provided herein was relayed to me in the course of official interagency business. It is routine for U.S. officials with responsibility for a particular regional or functional portfolio to share such information with one another in order to inform policy making and analysis. Previous statement vetted and approved by actuarial representatives of the government's insurance company, and so forth, and so on, liability concerns. I was not a direct witness to most of the events described. Let's get that out there right now. However, I found my colleagues' accounts of these events to be credible because, in almost all cases, multiple officials recounted fact patterns that were consistent with one another. In addition, a variety of information consistent with these private accounts has been reported publicly. I am deeply concerned that the actions described below constitute a serious or flagrant problem, abuse, or violation of law or executive order. This is in quotes because this is the language of whistleblower law that, quote, does not include differences of opinions concerning public policy matters, consistent with the definition of an urgent concern in 50 U.S.C. 3033 K5G. I am therefore fulfilling my duty to report this information through proper legal channels to the relevant authorities. What I'm trying to say is, this is not a matter of opinion. I have reached consensus about a serious, flagrant problem, abuse, or violation of law or executive order. There is no difference of opinion here. It does not include differences of opinions concerning public policy matters. And I assure everyone that this is the case. I am therefore fulfilling my duty to report this information through proper legal channels to the relevant authorities. I am also concerned that these actions pose risks to U.S. national security and undermine the U.S. government's efforts to deter and counter foreign interference in U.S. elections. Foreign elections are off limits. We can interfere in those. We can even stage a revolution like we did in 2014 with the Euromaidan uprising. But I digress. To the best of my knowledge, the entirety of this statement is unclassified when separated from the classified enclosure. I have endeavored to apply the classification standards outlined in Executive Order 13526 and to separate out information that I know or have reason to believe is classified for national security purposes. If a classification marking is applied retroactively, I believe it is incumbent upon the classifying authority to explain why such a marking was applied and to which specific information it pertains, because there's a higher loyalty at stake. And like I've said before in my memos, I have crossed all the T's, dotted all the I's, and if I had to do it again, it would make me mildly nauseous to do so. The 25th July presidential phone call. Early in the morning of 25th July, the president spoke by telephone with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. I do not know which side initiated the call. This was the first publicly acknowledged call between the two leaders since a brief congratulatory call after Mr. Zelensky won the presidency on 21st of April. I have had my New York Times fact-checkers fact-check this letter. Multiple White House officials with direct knowledge of the call informed me that, after an initial exchange of pleasantries, the president used the remainder of the call to advance his personal interests. Oh, whoa. I mean, this is bad. I wonder if we'll ever get to see or hear the phone call. You know, and since you probably won't, I'm going to tell you what it means. This is the only possible interpretation of the phone call. Namely, he sought to pressure the Ukrainian leader to take actions to help the president's 2020 re-election bid. According to the White House officials who had direct knowledge of the call, the president pressured Mr. Zelensky to, inter alia, initiate or constitute an investigation. Inter alia? Hey, you didn't say that was going to be in this. Inter alia? I would never use inter alia. It sounds like a disease. I tell you, I guess we're going to have to start over. Initiate or continue an investigation into the activities of former Vice President Joseph Biden and his son Hunter Biden, assist in purportedly uncovering that allegations of Russian interference in the 2016 U.S. presidential election originated in Ukraine. The specific request that the Ukrainian leader locate and turn over servers used by the Democratic National Committee and examined by the U.S. cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike. Hey, that's not what I said. Because those servers, they don't even exist. I mean, most of the stuff is in the cloud. And an imprint was taken by the Ukrainian-American-owned firm CrowdStrike, owned by Dmitry Alperovich. I told you that this doesn't sound, it doesn't sound believable because, you know, only stupid people like Trump use the words, the DNC server. Everybody knows that. This is a conspiracy theory. So you have to make sure that you don't use the conspiracy language. We're going to have to totally edit this whole thing, which initially reported that Russian hackers had penetrated the DNC's networks in 2016 and meet or speak with two people the president named explicitly as his personal envoys on these matters, Mr. Giuliani and Attorney General Barr, to whom the president referred multiple times in tandem. Again, with the Latin. I would never use that word in tandem. Cut.